I have a stalker. Rather, he's a peeping Tom and he would only look at me and me alone. He doesn't like the other girls at the all-girls school I go to, and instead watches me from afar, imagining perverted thoughts in his little mind. You may be wondering why I'm not freaking out when I should. From all the stories you've probably heard, stalkers could be out to kill you. They could want sexual relations with you, or something that blurs the lines of obsession. But my stalker's a bit different from any stalker I ever heard of. He's not really a hobo or some perverted guy from another school that's a couple miles away. He looks quite nice to be a stalker and is even handsome for that matter. He doesn't follow me home either, which is such a relief on my end. But today, he did something out of the ordinary. Today's my birthday, January 23rd, 2012. Turned 17. It went as such. Got to school with my birthday outfit on, everyone shouting to me a happy birthday, gave me gift goodie bags and gifts wrapped in paper, and everyone gets invited to my party. Notice that I didn't mention my stalker. Well, probably because he wasn't there, which I found quite strange. Of all the days he doesn't decide to come, he decides not to come on my birthday? Like when I got all dressed up? Definitely odd of him. I kept thinking about this at my birthday party. I don't have a definitive answer as to why I kept thinking about him, and I probably never will find the answer. But the thoughts of him were like clockwork, and it just wouldn't stop. My thoughts were snapped out of when it was time for me to blow out the candles. The lights were dimmed, and my mother comes out with a rectangular cake in hand, 17 candles exactly on the cake. I look up from the cake to look out of the window, and my face immediately went pale and cold. The following is going to describe what I've seen, and if you don't believe me, it's okay. I would care less what you think. But I swear I saw what I saw. I'm not crazy. There stood my stalker in all of his glory. But he looked like any hobo stalker I've seen in my day-to-day life. He smiled so hugely that I could see every detail of uncleanliness stained in his teeth, and he was walking slowly towards my house. Smile still huge as ever, but his walking a sheer limping. He looked like he was walking like a zombie. The closer he got, the more he morphed into a rotting corpse. His skin started to rot off, his eyes rolled to the back of his head, and his hair was shredding off one by one. I screamed, of course. I fell back and hit my head against the wall. I blacked out after that. I woke up in a very bright hospital. When I touched my aching head, it was wrapped with bandages. I sit up and see my mother running to me and crushing me into a hug. "Are you okay?" she screamed. "Do you remember me? How many fingers am I holding up?" I answered with, "You're my mother, and you're holding up 5 fingers." As my mother hugged me, I asked her, "Mom, did you see him outside?" She pulled away from me. "Who?" "My stalker I've been talking about. He was outside our house when you were singing Happy Birthday." As my mother wiped away her tears and sniffled, her eyebrows pulled together. "What stalker?" "There was no one outside either. I even looked out there when you screamed and no one was there." "Honey, you don't have a stalker. You haven't even spoken about him up until now." As for my stalker, I never saw him after that.